Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Roman Reigns has not been seen on WWE TV since his massive loss to Bronson Reed at Crown Jewel, thanks to the spear from Jey Uso. This week's episode of WWE Raw featured Adam Pearce announcing that Seth Rollins had to relinquish his World Heavyweight Championship because he was injured. Further, a battle royal was then featured to determine CM Punk's opponent at Saturday night's main event to determine the new World Heavyweight Champion. Jey Uso ended up winning the battle royal and is now set to battle Punk for the title. However, the stars who rode Rollins off TV, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, were not allowed to be a part of the battle royal. While both men were initially announced as participants in the high-stakes match, Adam Pearce pulled them out of the match after a backstage segment with WWE Hall of Famer Paul Heyman, which has left the world talking. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed could unleash an attack on Jey Uso backstage to take him out of the picture in an attempt to make their way into the match at Saturday night's main event. A move like this could enhance their position as a heel and further solidify Braun Breaker's spot at the top of the roster. However, Roman Reigns could make his return and take both men out, replacing Jey Uso in the match against CM Punk for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. A potential story like this could turn the tables quite interestingly and bring everyone into the spotlight yet again. Time will now tell what WWE has in store for the stars next. Since the massive assault from Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, Seth Rollins has undoubtedly turned face once again. While Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins have been engaged in a feud of their own over the past few months, both men could keep their grudges aside to take down the duo of Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. During a recent episode of the Wrestling Time Machine, Bill Apter revealed that he also felt the Shield was coming back together. Fans will have to wait and see if WWE has any plans to bring the Hounds of Justice back. The WWE Universe is once again buzzing with speculation as reports swirl that Roman Reigns could be gearing up for a dramatic return to television, and possibly stepping into a major match under shocking circumstances. The rumor mill ignited after Jey Uso was allegedly attacked backstage during a recent episode of Raw, leaving fans and insiders questioning who could have orchestrated the ambush and what it might mean for the upcoming high-stakes match. With the Bloodline saga still simmering and the future of the faction uncertain, all eyes have turned to the tribal chief himself. Could Roman Reigns make his thunderous return and take Jey Uso's spot, reshaping WWE's landscape once again? Ever since Roman Reigns took time off after losing the undisputed WWE Universal Championship to Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41, his absence has been felt across both SmackDown and Raw. WWE has been deliberate about not rushing his comeback, opting instead to let his name build mystique and anticipation. But in the unpredictable world of professional wrestling, timing is everything, and this could be the perfect moment for the head of the table to re-emerge. Sources close to WWE Creative have suggested that internal discussions about Reigns' return have been ongoing, with multiple scenarios being considered. The recent attack storyline involving Jey Uso might just be the perfect setup for his reintroduction. The angle began when Jey Uso was seen lying unconscious backstage during Raw, surrounded by medical personnel and referees, while commentators speculated about the identity of the attacker. Many fans immediately drew parallels to the Bloodline's brutal internal conflicts over the past year. Given Jey's complicated history with his cousin Roman, it's easy to see why theories linking Reigns to the incident gained traction. Though nothing has been confirmed, some fans believe the assault could have been orchestrated to re-establish Roman's dominance and remind the WWE Universe who truly sits at the head of the table. If Roman does replace Jey in the upcoming match, it could be a masterstroke of storytelling from WWE's creative team. Reigns stepping into a match intended for Jey would not only reignite their bloodline tension, but also set the stage for a deeper narrative twist. Perhaps Roman's return isn't about helping the family, but about reclaiming control. Jey Uso's recent momentum as a solo star, complete with his yeet movement and crowd popularity, might have rubbed the tribal chief the wrong way. Roman's character has always been driven by respect and authority. Watching Jey thrive independently could easily fuel his return with vengeance in mind. From a storyline perspective, the timing aligns perfectly. Survivor Series is approaching, and WWE traditionally uses the event to launch or escalate major storylines. A shocking Roman Reigns return, particularly in a team setting or elimination match, would electrify the card. Imagine the chaos if Roman were announced as a last-minute replacement, walking down the ramp with that trademark slow intensity, the arena lights dimming, fans chanting, "Acknowledge me." The visual alone would send chills through the crowd. His presence would shift the power dynamic instantly, and even those opposing him in the match would feel the weight of his aura. But beyond the spectacle, this potential move has strategic importance. Roman Reigns' return could help boost viewership and ticket sales during a time when WWE is focusing heavily on maintaining post-WrestleMania momentum. Raw and SmackDown ratings have remained strong, but the absence of a central megastar like Reigns is always felt. Having him reappear unexpectedly would inject new energy into the product and re-establish his dominance as the company's most polarizing figure. It's worth noting that WWE has a history of using injury or attack angles as tools to advance or alter major storylines. The Jey Uso incident feels like a deliberate setup rather than a random occurrence. The question remains, who benefits most from Jey's removal from the match? If the replacement turns out to be Roman Reigns, it would immediately validate the theory that WWE is preparing to reunite, or at least revisit, the Bloodline storyline with a darker twist. Some insiders speculate that Solo Sikoa might also be involved in the backstage attack, potentially acting under Roman's orders. Ever since Solo began asserting himself as the new tribal chief, tensions within the Bloodline narrative have escalated. Roman reclaiming his position would set up an inevitable collision course between the two. A Roman versus Solo showdown is one of the most anticipated feuds fans have been waiting for. The teacher versus the student, the original enforcer versus the self-proclaimed successor. If Reigns does return to replace Jey, it could mark the beginning of that explosive story arc leading into WrestleMania season. Meanwhile, the emotional implications for Jey Uso can't be overlooked. After breaking free from the Bloodline and carving out his own path on Raw, Jey's rise to popularity has been one of WWE's best redemption stories. Being attacked and potentially replaced by Roman could be seen as poetic irony. The man who helped Jey rise is now the one taking his spot. It would add layers of drama to their already complex relationship, blending real emotion with long-term storytelling. Social media has already exploded with fan reactions and theories. Some believe the attack was orchestrated by other potential rivals like Drew McIntyre or the Judgment Day, while others insist this is all part of Roman's grand return plan. Hashtags like #RomanReignsReturn and #WoTakaJeyuso have trended since the incident aired. WWE's digital team has cleverly played into the hype, posting cryptic teasers featuring Reigns' voiceovers and slow fades of his iconic entrance theme. Fans have learned to read between the lines, and when WWE begins teasing without confirming, it almost always means something big is brewing. From a booking perspective, replacing Jey Uso with Roman Reigns could be a logical move if WWE wants to reintroduce the tribal chief without rushing into another title program. It allows Reigns to step back into the spotlight, test the waters, and gauge the crowd reaction before embarking on his next major feud. Given Roman's limited schedule and part-time status, a return through a team-based match also makes logistical sense, allowing him to make an impact without taking on a heavy workload immediately. If this speculation becomes reality, it would also create ripple effects across WWE's current roster. Cody Rhodes, for example, has been enjoying his run as undisputed champion, but a returning Roman Reigns would naturally draw the spotlight. Their unfinished business could be reignited at any moment. Likewise, stars like Solo Sikoa, Jey Uso, and even LA Knight could find their storylines intersecting with Roman's return, each with unique motivations either to align with or oppose him. There's also the question of whether Paul Heyman will be by Roman's side if he returns. Heyman's allegiance has been ambiguous ever since the bloodline fractured, and his appearances have become increasingly strategic. If Roman shows up to replace Jey, and Heyman walks out beside him, that would confirm that the Wiseman never truly left his tribal chief. However, if Heyman is absent or hesitant, it could suggest that even he is unsure of where Roman's intentions lie, a storytelling nuance that could add even more intrigue to the unfolding saga. WWE's creative team has recently emphasized long-term narratives, weaving emotional depth into its top feuds. Bringing Roman Reigns back under these circumstances could be their boldest move yet. It not only plays on nostalgia and continuity, but also positions WWE to explore uncharted dynamics within one of its most successful storylines of the modern era. The Bloodline saga has always thrived on betrayal, family tension, and power struggles, all elements that this potential twist embodies perfectly. In the end, whether Roman Reigns actually replaces Jey Uso remains to be seen, but the possibility alone has reignited excitement among fans who have missed his presence. WWE thrives on moments that make audiences gasp, speculate, and tune in the following week, and this setup has all the makings of one of those moments. If Roman returns to fill Jey's spot after a mysterious assault, it could signify the rebirth of the tribal chief's reign, not over titles, but over the WWE universe itself. The head of the table might have been dethroned at WrestleMania, but his shadow still looms large over every major storyline in WWE. Whether it's vengeance, redemption, or dominance that drives him back, one thing is certain. When Roman Reigns returns, the entire wrestling world will once again have no choice but to acknowledge him. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our WWE official YouTube channel for more update news.